What's going on, everybody? This is Island Hopper TV coming to you from Macau, China. We're going to talk about the things to know while visiting here. The first thing you need to know is that Macau uses its own currency from China and even Hong Kong. It's MOP. Macau has its own currency. 8.05 equals 1 USD. That's its currency. Now, it is a special administrative zone operating autonomously from China and Hong Kong. So when you come over here, you do process immigration, whether you arrive by air, by ferry, by bus, wherever it is, you arrive through an immigration process. There's no real documentation required. You don't fill out any forms, you just show up and then you're in there. Well, let me clarify, you need to bring your passport. You cannot arrive without a passport. Let me explain how Macau is set up. So it's basically 3 islands. There's Taipa, Cologne, and then there's the main area, the original settlement, Macau. Now, inside of Taipa and Macau is the Cotai Strip, which is where most of the new city or the hotels and casinos are built. And that's actually where I'm walking now. Now, if you wanted to go to the main area from Cotai, you actually have to go across the bridge. There's no public monorail or train. It goes under the water or over the water. They do have public buses. All right, now let's talk about arrival into Macau. So you can come in by ferry from Hong Kong. That means you would arrive in Hong Kong SAR, take the ferry from central area, and then you would arrive here at the Macau ferry port, and you could get around all of Macau that way. The other way is arriving by plane. And then if you come in from mainland China, I believe you can also take a bus. There is buses also from Hong Kong, but there's other 3 main ways. As far as processing immigration, it is very easy. They don't even ask a question. They just look at your passport, punch in your numbers, and then they give you a, they don't even give you a stamp. They just give you a little card, and then you keep that in your passport and you're in. Now let's talk about activities and things to do. As you guys know, there's a big tall tower here where people like to do the AJ Hackett skydiving opportunity. But down here at Senado Square, you also have an old town area. And I would say Macau is really a tale of 2 different areas. You have Cotai Strip, which is way more modern, and that's the new world. And then you have the old town area, which is here at the Centro Historico, where they have the ruins of St. Paul and several other cathedrals and churches inside of this old town area. But yes, lots of activities to do, but 2 different styles, old world and new world. Hope you like casino gaming as well, because they have a lot of that at the Wynn, at the Venetian, at the Galaxy, and even over here where the old world is, they have the MGM and they have another Wynn Tower. So be ready to have a wide variety of things to do while in Macau, probably even more so than Hong Kong. All right, let's talk about public transportation. So the fastest, most efficient way to get around is probably going to be by taxi. But there is a Macau Pass. It's a card you can get at 7-Eleven. I got this one at Circle K. You get it for 130 Macau. Basically, Hong Kong dollar to Macau dollar is the same. It's around 8 of those to 1 US. So take that in consideration. But yeah, you can get this. It's really a great bargain. You can ride all the city buses, or well, public buses as they call them here. Also, many of the big hotels, they have free transportation, shuttles. Sometimes people ride those even if they're not staying at the hotel, just because they're so efficient. So if you wanted to go from, say, Old Town Macau to Cotai, you could actually take Wynn to Wynn, going from Wynn Hotel to Wynn Hotel, or MGM Hotel to MGM Hotel. Not going to say that always works, but some people say they do that. But really, this MGM Pass, or this Macau Pass right here, is probably the best bet. 130 Macau, 30 of that goes towards the card, 100 of that goes to the value.
As far as taxis go, I don't have very good luck. There'll be vacant taxis, they'll look right at me and they'll just keep on driving. And another vacant taxi will keep on driving. So I think if you're a foreigner, you're not gonna have very good luck with taxis here.
Next up, let's talk about safety here in Macau. So there's a bit of petty theft crimes, scams that you have to be on the lookout for. Cell phones, fake watches, high dollar luxury goods people are trying to sell on the side of the road, they'll try and make it seem like, hey, they got a really good price because they know the manufacturer of the product, and then they got it for a good price and they're just trying to get rid of it. That one could get you. As far as violent crime, not so much violent crime here in Macau. That's not really a problem, although anything can happen, especially at night when you're drunk. So take basic precautions. I'm not saying let your guard down completely, but it is generally a safe place, really. Another thing you have to be on the guard for is spending too much money at the casino, getting carried away. They don't allow you to drink while gaming, so that's a good thing. That's going to protect you from making stupid decisions while drunk. But generally speaking, I would say Macau is a safe place. The transportation is a bit chaotic crossing the roads. That might be something dangerous, but other than that, really a safe place. Now for some fun facts about Macau. It was actually the last European colony in Asia. It's also a World Heritage Site, and it's now known as the world's most densely populated area. In an area of around 13 miles, there's 647,000 people. That's 53,000 people per square mile. Very densely populated place here in Macau. Also, even though it's part of China, it has its own separate laws. So you'll notice things are a little bit different in this SAR. And at the City of Dreams, it's actually home to one of the most unique buildings in the world at the Morpheus Hotel. And then you have the world's tallest commercial bungee skydiving place. It's either bungee or skydive, you can look it up, but yeah, that's at the tower at the convention center. Something else I'd like to let you know, there is no liquor license laws here, so that means there is no minimum age for drinking alcohol. One thing I did notice about Macau is a lot of things are still in Portuguese, but I don't see anyone here really speaking Portuguese. So they have like 3 languages. They have Mandarin or Cantonese, Chinese, simplified, and then they have English, and then they have Portuguese. But like I said, I don't see really anyone speaking in Portuguese. There's probably about less than 1% of the people actually use that language, but it's everywhere. Now let's talk about food here in Macau. I've got some dim sum, which is very common here. All right, I got some pork spare ribs right here.
I found many of the restaurants to be quite crowded with limited seating.
So I'm drinking a Tsingtao lager. All right, this is called beef offal, O-O-F-L-E, offal. So we got some black fungus and vinegar here. Yummy. And here's some spare ribs, Zhenjiang style. Well, looks like I got like drunken noodles here with beef. We'll give it a try. So here I am at the Londoner. Got a beer, a Tsingtao beer, some olives, and cashews with chips. All right, thank you. Okay, so we got a ribeye steak here. Actually ordered some nasi goreng, an Indonesian dish, and another Parisian. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yes. So I got some wonton noodle soup here. Now let's talk about price and affordability. If you look it up online or anywhere else, you even come here, you will feel a difference. Macau is just a little bit more affordable than Hong Kong. In terms of the accommodation, you can find cheap, luxurious accommodation for around $100 in Macau if you look far enough, especially on Macao Island. Not so much Cotai Strip though. But overall, 36% cheaper in Macau than it is in Hong Kong. So, tale of 2 different SARs. Now, if you go right across the river here into mainland China, prices go way down even more, but you have to have a special visa for that. Let's talk about weather here in Macau, because there is 4 seasons. I was here one time in around January timeframe, January, February, and it was pretty cold, especially at night. You know, the wind chill was there, but outside of those January, February, a little bit of December months, where it maybe gets down into the teens for degrees Celsius, or maybe into the 60s or high 50s. Not too cold, it doesn't snow or anything. But the weather here in the summertime and every other season outside of that, very hot, very muggy in the summertime, sun is intense and it's very muggy, humidity. There can be a threat of typhoons also. So be on the lookout for that, because there was a signal 10, I think it was a signal 10 or a signal 11 typhoon just last week. With that being said, if you're looking for the best weather, the best time to visit is going to be from October to December, or March and April. That's the best weather.
Tipping in Macau is not customary because it's Chinese, and in China they don't typically tip, so you also don't have to tip, but they do sometimes include service charges into some of the bills at these hotels and resorts. So keep that in mind. But if you're a generous person, giving 10% is common, especially with Westerners. When it comes to the amount of time in Macau, a lot of people just go there for the first time from Hong Kong. They leave at like 8 or 9 in the morning and come back at 9 at night. Just a day trip over there, that's like a good introduction. But if you do decide to stay there, 3 days seems to be enough. You could do 4 days, but I don't really see a need for that because most of the activities you can really see in about 3 days. So that's my recommended time spent in Macau. Thank you everyone for watching Island Hopper TV. If you enjoyed this one, please consider watching another one of our videos. We have a recommended video and another video for you to watch next.